I think that the announcement last week from the city of a proposed settlement with city capital is a great move forward. It really allows the co-op now to move the conversation from kind of, well, what happens if the litigation gets settled, to, okay, now that this is settled, we can go talk to financiers and say, really, this is what it's worth. This is what is there in our network. And it's changed the conversation that we can now have with both members and the community. Other great things that we see right now is they've put a timeline out there, but it's fairly long. It looks like they've structured this transaction to get some interim financing that gives the city a good 2 to 3 year window to get a good transaction done. So the co-op is really revitalizing its efforts right now to get folks engaged as well as to get potential financiers engaged. But it's not as if we have to have something done by June. In fact, I think the city will probably only finish up all of their dealings in the transaction around the summer. So as that occurs, we're going to be getting out, talking to members, talking to financing people. Again, as I said, to revitalize this so that we can really have a good shot at keeping this very important asset in the city under local control. Other things that are going on these days, you've got major deals going on with Comcast, purchasing Time Warner Cable, which was announced today, and it just stresses the need we have for, I think, local control, because net neutrality, the implications of that ruling recently are going to be potentially very costly if there is not some kind of local control that can keep the local network open to all sorts of traffic coming in from the outside.
And for members who are interested in getting involved in this kind of upcoming stuff, what sorts of opportunities do you envision there being? Yeah,
I think there's one, keep your eyes open. We will get out to people. We're starting to revitalize through the steering committee in a meeting in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. And after that meeting, I think we're going to really have some marching orders to go out. There's going to be, I think, more of a focus to put together, again, go after member recruitment. And we're going to have some work on the publicizing front, and also have the chance to go out and look for additional financing. So both members, as they look to perhaps commit to the co-op, or if there are people in the community who are saying, geez, we would really like to have a bigger say or a bigger role in this, they should come to the co-op and hear how we see the potential for this going forward. Likewise, I think communities surrounding Burlington might now well have the opportunity to be served by Burlington Telecom. It won't come tomorrow, but this potentially, if the Public Service Board, who has to weigh in on this transaction, makes certain type of statements, it really could open that up to all of our local communities. As I said, it won't happen immediately, but over the next couple of years, could give South Burlington, could give Winooski, could give Colchester, could give Shelburne the opportunity to have real competition to the major providers like Comcast.
And now that the game is kind of afoot in terms of the settlement details are there, what do you see as the kind of other players that might be moving in to sort of compete with the co-op?
I think that there'll be more like regional type telecom parties who may be interested in this. I think right now the largest players probably won't have much of an interest, but there are regional telecoms in upstate New York, one of whom's recently made a purchase locally of a company called Teljet. You've got VTEL in other parts of the state. I think these are parties who might also look at this as an opportunity to expand their footprint, but not necessarily with the local focus in mind.
Awesome. Any final thoughts?
I think it's very important that we keep BT local. I think that's the punchline.